This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On the show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Giff.
Oh, we got the happy Pete tonight, it looks like, guys.
You always get the happy Pete.
Sometimes there's the
What are the
giggly
other-
Pete, and sometimes there's the serious Pete. You just never know what you're going to get.
Well, you know,
But what we
I like
do
to
know is
surprise
Pete has a very
listeners.
important job right now.
I do.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's
Catch
time
on
to
here.
open the yearbook.
Yes.
Ooh.
And what are we opening to this month?
Just past page 2000. I'm going to just turn it a couple of pages. Here it is, page 2004.
Ah, you made it. Hey, you know what? That was 20 years ago.
Oh,
You're kidding
damn.
me.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
20
Time
years
goes by
ago.
way too quickly.
So it doesn't maybe seem like that would be that long ago, but it is. What do you guys remember about 2004?
Well, this is the year I bought. I bought a Trailblazer that year, a vehicle
Oh, I
which I
remember that.
hated. Yeah, I did. It was nice on the inside, but I hated driving it because it would always, like, anytime you sped up, the transmission would just like shake the car almost. You feel like this big jerk. And I don't know. And
So you were at
anytime you go
home in
on
that
long
car.
road
Perfect
trips,
for you.
yeah, that's right. And you'd go on long road trips, and my back would just be killing me. I don't have that in other vehicles, but this one, oh man, I was glad to get rid of it. But we did take a long road trip despite the back pain. We took a road trip to Santa Fe, New Mexico that year in 2004, which, is just a place to go. I don't know why we picked it out necessarily, but
It's
it is,
just a place to go.
yeah, it is actually pretty cool. There's a lot of cool, like, history, and it's a
Yeah.
cool city, and it's a very fun drive. And yeah, I don't remember a whole. Oh, I do remember we went to. There's like an Indian casino that we went to, and it was like a half an hour drive away from where we were staying. And on the way home, we got mooned by a group of hooligans that passed us on the interstate. They were going like 100 miles an hour with their pants down.
That's how you
out
go
the window.
100 miles an hour with your
So it's
pants
fun.
down. That's the way to live life right there.
Sounds like a church pencil sign.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. But we had a nice little resort that we stayed at, and it was fun. It was a good time. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of other memories of 2004. That was probably that was our big trip of that year. Not a lot else. Gifford, what about you?
Wow. Not a lot to say.
Well, I don't go on trips very often, but this year I did. Courtney's family went down to Playa del Carmen. We stayed down there.
Oh, really?
Pete is going there next week.
We were just talking about Playa del Carmen. I will be there 1 week from right now on a
Well,
beach.
I hope you stay in a house and your housekeeper / cook is Rosa, because that's who we had. We did an Airbnb,
really?
and it was just a really great time. It was Courtney's folks and her brother and girlfriend at the time, and then Courtney and I, and it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. Went fishing one day off of Cozumel, and soaked up a lot of sun, had a really good time, and it was a pretty cool time.
We'll be
another
staying at an
thing-
all-inclusive resort, so maybe
Oh.
maybe Rosa got a new job.
maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe you'll
Maybe.
stay at the one we stayed at on our anniversary in 2001 when we went to Playa del Carmen.
Ooh,
All right. well,
everybody's
yeah.
been there. I like
We're gonna
that.
hit for
Everybody's
the
been
Playa del Carmen cycle.
So that year, I remember going deer hunting that year. I had my best year ever. I shot a very heavy 6-point old boy. He was heavy. And then the very next morning, I shot a little 10-point. So I was feeling very manly that year. Another
in Playa
reason.
del Carmen.
No. This was up in by South Cass Lake. The other reason I was feeling manly that year is I knocked up my wife, and so we had Sam the following year. But at that deer season, I remember that she was pregnant at the time, so I was killing deer, putting meat on the family
We
table.
don't need to hear the whole story about how the kid was conceived. That's all right. Spare our listeners.
Yeah. This was also early on in our time at our townhome, and I think this would have been one of the years that we held a 4th of July party. I might be wrong on that, but it would have been right in that time frame. We always had a pretty good party on the 4th of July, of course, my birthday, along with America's. And we would usually go play some softball and have some beers and have some fun. I remember at one of them, the next day, we decided to go play at, where did we play, Brad, in Prior Lake? The Wilds?
Probably maybe Stonebrook.
No, it was the Wilds. I remember.
You never played the Wilds.
Yeah, I did. It was a
Not with
late
me.
invite. Yes, it was with you.
Okay,
'cause
fine.
You invited me at the 4th of July party, and it was the next morning, and I remember being hammered
I
at
don't
the
remember it.
party and going
Maybe
that
somebody
next
dropped
morning.
out or something that couldn't go.
Yeah.
At the last
Yes, because I believe Todd and Craig were there as well. So
Ah, well,
I doubt you would have dropped out, and I would have taken your spot with those fellas. So yeah, that was a good time. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I had for that year. It was the last year before I had kids. So last year of being wild and free.
That was it. Yeah.
all right. So I don't usually like to bring things down much here, but we did have one of the most eventful weeks of our lives during 2004, and that's really all I remember was this one week. So we didn't go on a trip this year. As the first year in 3 years since we got married that we hadn't been on some kind of nice big trip, and that's because Kim was pregnant, and we spent the first couple months of the year looking for a new house. So all our time and money was going into planning. We had a townhouse, and we were looking to buy a new, single family home. And we were looking for that for a long time, and we found one we really loved. And we finally were going to do that. And this was a time, too, where this was the third year in a row where we all went to the Twins home opener. You guys remember
That
that?
would have been in that time.
I would
Yeah.
organize a group, and we would get the group tickets. This year, we actually had like 25 or 30 people, and we got the group tickets. They weren't great seats or anything, but we all went to that, and we were all very excited. And it was our
That
spring
one we're
break.
up above right field, the right field wall.
No, because
up
those
the
were
deck.
general
That was one of
admission. That was
these.
the year before. These were up
Okay.
on like first base. But
Okay,
up
I
there.
remember that too. Yep. All right.
So it was on spring break, and this is great. We got the Twins home opener. We had a great time. They won, and then we had our doctor's appointment the next morning, and that was the day we found out that my wife was no longer pregnant, and it was a very, very sad time. And a lot of people have been through that, and it's really awful, and it was not cool. But at that same time, so we're going through, and then the next day, so that was Tuesday. Wednesday was our anniversary, so we got that going on, and that's the day we had to go in and take care of everything and do that. It was awful. But at the same time, we had just found the house we wanted. We're getting offers on our townhouse, and we had to juggle and do all that, which actually was kind of a blessing because it took our mind off of as much as we could, the bad stuff that was going on. And so in that 1 week, we went to the Twins opener. We had all this group fun. We lost a baby, and then we had our anniversary, and then we got a house and sold our house and bought our new house, basically all within about 7 days. And it was an insane time.
Yeah.
It all happened to be on my spring break, which worked out pretty well too, because otherwise I would have
Right.
been even busier at work. And then on Memorial Day of 2004, we moved into our new home that we were in for 15 years and loved it there. And it wasn't far from Gifford's house still at that time. And
It was awesome
So-
having you over there. Yeah.
I don't remember much else about that year, but that 1 week was wild and sad and exciting all in one. And I will never forget that. So that's
Yeah.
my memory.
Yeah, that's quite a bit in 1 week. Holy cow.
Sure was.
Almost. Yeah, it's almost to the week. Then it would be 20 years if you're saying
Yeah,
it was spring break.
actually.
It's like right now.
Except
That's
it
the
was a
time that we
later
were
spring
recording
break because it was the Twins opener. It was April 5th was the Twins game because our anniversary is
That's
here.
your end.
So
Yeah.
it was
All
a
right,
later
so it's
spring
been
break
2
for us
weeks.
that year. But anyway, pretty close to 20 years ago right now.
Wow.
Actually, well, when is this going to come out? It'll be around that
first.
exact time.
This
Yeah,
will come
there
out.
we
I
go.
think
We
it's the
planned it
first-
for that.
I mean, we're
This is
recording
coming
this a week or two ahead, but
Yeah.
okay. Well, there you go. So that's our memories of 2004. And
Yep.
now we are going to get into our drafts, right? You got anything else you want to throw in first?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
we covered it.
Okay. So we're going to go through music, then movies, and then TV in that order tonight. And so our music draft is going to be interesting because even I had a hard time. Like, I have a lot of songs this time, along with that, kind of a half and half mix. But you guys sound like you might struggle to fill out your 5 spots here. So,
Yes, I believe I will.
and I chose to go first in this one. So you also have to deal with being the last picks.
Yeah.
Here we go. So next week, we are going to talk about what I think is, if not the best, one of the best albums of the 2000s period. And that is Green Day's American Idiot. And that's my number 1 pick.
The whole album. I'm assuming.
The whole album.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you
I'm
can't
We
steal a
could,
song
we
out of
could
that.
easily do just every song from that album.
I'm crossing
have a
off the
perfectly good
songs that
draft.
I wrote down off
That's
of that.
true. We could have just
There goes
drafted
Gifford's entire list.
Pretty close.
I love how you clarified that.
Yes.
All right, I have
Good pick.
Because that is true.
my
If
pick-
somebody picks a song, then you can pick more songs. But once the
Songs.
album is gone, that's the rule.
Yes.
Then they're gone.
Yep.
Pete, you're up next.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I will go with U2, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb.
Yep, that's my second pick.
All right.
Oh, I want to just throw in too.
Yeah.
Especially because I know she's probably listening. Also that week, just on top of all that, it was, I think, the same day we came home from the doctor. My niece was born. My sister Danica, who listens every week, as far as I know, and love that she listens. One of my nieces, Allie, was born, and so that was also great. But it was just nonstop with this stuff, and so I
Yeah.
want to at least throw that in there because I remember that very well. Because my reaction wasn't quite what she expected, and then when she found out, then it all made sense. So
For sure.
Mhm.
Hi, Danica.
yeah.
So, all right. So I get to go third here. I do not have albums. I have all songs. So I am going to take a song from Usher, maybe his best known song, and that is "Yeah." I'm taking "Yeah." Came out January 10th of 2004. Was released.
January 10th.
Yep.
All right, I am going to take another. I'm going to go with a song this time, and I never actually had the whole album, so I can't pick the album. But I bet I would have liked most of it, but I just never really got into it. But one of the big hits at this time on the alternative radio that I would listen to was Franz Ferdinand's "Take Me Out," and that was one that was quite huge in my life and in our group of friends, and it's still a great song.
I'm sure it is. I'm
Well, you
just
know
not thinking of it real well. I'll have to
Oh.
listen here.
Yeah, you know that song.
Surprised I didn't see it on the
All right.
and along my extensive research.
This is one, Brad, I'm guessing you have on your list, but I'm going to go with it. Around the Sun, REM.
Yeah, it's on my list, but I was not going to pick it because it is the worst REM album, and I like
That still
barely.
doesn't make it a bad album.
No, I'm just saying I never listened to it again, like hardly ever. So you would think I
But-
would have had it ranked highly, but gotcha.
In a thin year for most of us, I can see Pete.
Yeah,
throw
well,
it
and
on
it's
him.
on my list. If I needed
Yeah.
to pick it, I would have, but I'm glad
Yep.
Pete took it. He deserves it.
All right.
Thank you.
Sticking with the
About time I
songs
get the
here.
fucking
And there are
recognition
two
I
great
deserve.
songs. I love "Leaving New York" and "Around the Sun." Those two songs to me are great. It's the rest of the album is just like very blah. Sorry, Gif.
No. All right. Here we go. I'm going to get it started with my second pick here. I'm going to go "Let's Get It Started" by the Black Eyed Peas. Came out June 1st.
Really? I thought that would have been sooner than. I thought that was an older song for some reason, but maybe
Yeah.
not.
No, I made sure I checked the.
Well, was
release
it "Let's
date
Get
and
It
all this.
Started" or the other
Nope,
horribly
"Let's Get It
stupidly
Started."
named song? Which God,
Yeah.
I hate those people so much.
Well, I figured that would be a safe pick for me 'cause
Yeah.
I knew you were not going to pick it.
I don't think I'm alone.
By
with that.
those people, we're referring to the band.
Yes. You know when I said it, Pete, I was thinking the same thing.
Thanks for the clarification, Pete.
Just to be sure, I'm glad you clarified that. I'm talking about the Black-Eyed Peas et al.
That was perfect.
Oh, it's me again.
It's Brad again.
Okay, I'm gonna take another song, and this is another song that I don't know if you'll know it when I say it, Gifford, but you certainly know this song, and it's Keane, "Somewhere Only We Know."
Oh, that's a good song.
That is one of the classics of the last 2 decades. Again, you heard it, Gifford. The second you heard it, you'd know that one. I guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I didn't do good enough research on this year for music. I
All
should
right,
start
is it my
playing
turn
these
again
just
already?
now.
It is you, Pete.
Yep.
I am going to go with "Hot Fuss" by the Killers.
Ah, see, I have that one on here too.
I love the Killers. Brad, I think I've heard you say you're not high in the Killers, but I love them.
No, not that. I like a few of their songs, like really, really like a lot of their songs, but I've never owned any of their albums or anything.
All right.
But like,
All right.
for example, the song "All the Things That I've Done" is one of my favorite, like, all-time songs. Period. It would be in like a top 10. It's amazing.
I actually like Sam's Town. That's probably my favorite album of theirs. But Hot Fuss is
I mean,
good
and
one.
Mr. Brightside. I mean, that's like still a
Of
classic.
course, that's the biggest.
Even the
it's
kids
biggest
listen to that
song
still.
they have.
So
Yep,
They
that's
play it
a
at
very
Gopher games.
So don't say I don't like them. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course,
They're
that
on my
I
list.
don't remember came out in 03 or 05, so I couldn't take that song. So
Yeah, they're
not on the list. I'm gonna go with "This Love" by Maroon 5. Brad's just loving
Yeah, we're
my
not on the
shit.
same page on this one tonight.
Nope, we are
See,
not.
I
And
would
we
say
usually
having
aren't when it,
less
it's
than
usually-
10.
No,
yeah.
it's just funny because, I mean, actually, I like Usher's song. I like that one. But the other two are like two bands that just are like my all-time most hated bands.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they're not like high on, but I think of when
But
I
I
hear
get it.
those songs, I party
they're
down.
catchy songs.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yep.
Okay, I am now going to go back to an album, and this one you probably don't know, but this was an artist who put out an album that was I got her through Mark Hamilton, our friend,
Mhm.
and she is a female solo artist, and her album Finally Woken came out, which is by Gem. And there might be a song that you guys would know from that too, because she had two fairly big alternative hits. It's a great album though, all the way through, and my wife loves it. We listen to it all the time. So
Excellent.
I will go
Pete.
with "Musicology" by Prince.
yes, you will.
I don't have a lot else to say.
It just got
about
really
it.
quiet there, so
I've
I thought I
listened
should
to
say
it.
something.
It's a good album. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's not Prince's best album, but it's pretty
It'll
good.
work. Mm-hmm. All right, I am going with "Heaven" by Los Lonely Boys. Actually went to a concert of theirs up here quite a few years ago, but yeah, going with that.
all right. I'm gonna pick a big song from a big movie that year from a band I love, and that is Counting Crows' "Accidentally in Love."
Oh,
From Shrek 2.
ooh, a sneak preview. Oh, you kind of gave it away. Sneak preview of what might be on some people's list for another category. Gifford, should I go country or hip hop?
I think you should go hip hop.
All right, I'll go with 99 Problems by Jay-Z.
Okay, so
Rounded on my list.
yep, I'm gonna go country. I'm gonna go with "Redneck Woman" by Gretchen Wilson.
Brad had that on his list. You sniped
Yep.
him.
I sniped the last pick away from the number one pick, Brad. Yep.
All right, you guys, you did it.
Yeah, we got through.
I don't know if you got any more. I do want to. I have a few more listed here. I'll say so. A guy we've talked about on this podcast, a great episode was on Chris Isaak, and this is the year his first of 2 Christmas albums came out, which I listen to this day every single year. It's one of the best Christmas albums there has been. Another song that was on the radio a ton was so we had this alternative station back then, which we don't have anymore. But Rachel Yamagata had a song called "Worn Me Down" that I loved. You might remember Hoobastank, "The Reason."
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And band I love, Wilco. This is the first album that they put out that I wasn't a big fan of, but I did really like the first single, "I'm a Wheel." Oh, I have one more. One of my favorite 90s bands, Presidents of the United States of America. They had a single that came out that year called "Some Postman," which I would venture to say is one of the most catchy songs that we've named tonight. Listen to it. It's awesome. You got 3 songs to listen to, Gifford.
Some Postman.
2 of those you'll know. That one you won't, but you'll like it.
Okay. Excellent. You may want to text those to me. I was not exactly writing them all down.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have anything else listed?
I've got
wanted to go
lots other listed. I'm just not going to read any of them.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your country, Pete? What was your 5th other pick?
I had 2 country ones. I had "When the Sun Goes Down" by Kenny Chesney and "Live Like You're a Dying" by Tim McGraw.
Mm.
And then I also had "Drop It Like It's Hot" by Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that's this year too, huh?
Yep. Yeah, that was September 27th.
Okay. Hey, that's my brother's birthday.
Hey, he dropped it. He dropped
That's
it
why
on
they released it on
fourth,
Snoop Dogg.
fourth, Todd's birthday.
This is going out to you, Todd.
Well, it was "Drop It Like It's Todd."
Todd. You thought of that at the same time I did. Drop it like a Todd. Drop it like a Todd.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
we're on to movies now.
Yeah.
And I think we won't have as hard of a time filling out the movies of 2004. And this one, Pete's first, followed by Giff, and I got to go last.
Pete,
right,
what do you got? for
Will
your
he
number
pick the
one
movie
pick?
he's picked for us to discuss later this month?
Maybe.
No, not for number 1. It might come up later, but my number 1 pick, there's a few here that I could take. Probably the All right. I am going to go with what I think was the best overall movie that I could watch time and time again. I'm going with Miracle. And I have to say that because I sat on a plane with the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team once to Las Vegas.
Yes, we've heard.
I know.
We've heard ad nauseum.
Yep.
I
Well,
must have
that
missed
was the
one. I don't even
movie-
have- I do. I have it on my list. There it
That
is.
was the one I wanted to pick, Pete. So I'm a little
Really?
disappointed.
Huh. For number 1, huh?
Yeah, I almost picked it for the month, but I didn't think
I was
you
gonna
guys
say,
were
you picked a movie too, so
necessarily going to go with. So, I will go ahead and pick my pick for the month, and that is Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
all right. All right. I'm gonna take. I guess I'm gonna take the big. I thought about taking Pete's, but maybe he'll get it now. I'm gonna take the big comedy from the year, Anchorman. The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Yes.
Two
Need to co-
Colland movies in a row there.
Mm-hmm.
I
We're
got a
big on
few here,
Coleman's.
but I have a feeling this one is not going to last to the next round, and I am now going to take Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, it was not going to last till the.
That
next
is number
round.
1 on my list, but then I ended up taking Anchorman anyway. I'm sick of
Mhm.
losing. I'm trying to win a poll here,
Good luck.
even though I really don't care.
All right. Well, let's see.
That's my top 3 right there.
Well, yeah, those are my top 4
Well,
are
plus
all gone.
Miracle, yeah.
Yep. So, well, let's see here. I think I'm gonna go with Euro Trip. I really, really enjoy that movie quite a bit, and you guys might not agree. And Scotty doesn't know, but it's a great great movie.
I saw it. I liked it. It's on my list, actually.
Oh, sweet.
I've only seen it once, I think, but I know I liked it, and I know
Mhm.
of it well, and I probably would like to watch it again someday.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna pick for my next pick. What I think is probably the best movie of the year. And we've talked about Jim Carrey on this show and his acting chops. And Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Mhm.
Mind was just a classic movie.
Yeah.
And I'm taking that.
Next one I'm going with is one that I have to pick because we have a lot of great memories around it. Brad, you and Dave, especially. I'm going with Team America World Police.
Another Coland movie.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. That was my next one on my list, actually.
Excellent. All right. I am going to go with a movie I watched.
Gary, act.
That I watched a ton because shortly after this year, like I said, I had a kid. So I'm getting into the cartoons, and The Incredibles came out in 2004.
I
And
thought you were going to take Garfield.
I absolutely love that movie. So that is fourth, or is that third pick?
That's
That's
your
third pick. All right.
All right, I am going to go now with a movie that was a great date night movie and is still very funny with another great performance, kind of the big of that year, 13 going on 30.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Perfectly cast, wonderful performance by Jennifer Garner.
All right. My next pick is maybe it's a little sleeper pick, but I thought it was a pretty funny movie. I'm going with Starsky and Hutch.
I have never seen that.
It's good. Yeah, wow. I would recommend you see it, Brad. It's pretty funny.
All right. I'm going to go with a franchise that kicked off this year that I love in the horror genre. The first Saw movie was released in 2004.
You and your horror.
I can't recommend
you and your
it enough.
horror. All right, I'm going to stay in the same lane here, and I'm going to go for the pick of a lot of, hopefully some women will vote for me with these too. Mean Girls.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We talked about Heathers on this show once, and Mean Girls was a great updated kind of version of that a little.
My last pick is one that when I saw it on the list prepping for this episode, I was like, oh, I wish I kind of would have picked that for this would be a good episode for this podcast because I think it would be a good talker. I'm going with Open Water.
Yes.
Oh.
My wife was very excited to see that movie. Love sharks. Oh, yeah. You don't know that?
I like sharks too.
We had to go to the Uptown Theater. We had to see that right away.
Okay. Yeah, I've watched that on a couple of occasions. All right.
I hope
so
we're probably going snorkeling next week. I hope that doesn't happen.
Watch out.
Yeah, heads up. Make sure that you don't let the boat leave you. Okay, so all right, I am going to take Troy for my final pick. Bit of an epic movie there.
Okay, so I've got the last pick.
Oh, I forgot you got.
There are many ways I can go. I'm not sure which one I should pick. I'm going to pick. Oh well, screw it. I'm never gonna win these things anyway. I'm gonna pick the movie that I think maybe we all went to it. We talked about it a lot. More maybe the other side of the group, but The Village.
Yeah,
loved that movie actually, and we all talked about going and starting our own compound and getting away from the stupid people in life.
Yeah,
and
that's a really good idea. Now
it was like the last good M. Night Shyamalan movie until he kind of had a resurgence a few years ago with a couple decent ones.
Mm-hmm.
But it's whatever. Some people hate that movie. I really liked that movie. I thought it was fun and different. And Joaquin Phoenix and Bryce Dallas Howard was great in that. And
yep. What I liked about it, for me anyway, what I liked about it was at the end of the movie, even though you knew the monsters weren't real, it was still scary as shit at the end of that
Yeah.
movie. But
Yep.
it's so that was good. I enjoyed it. Anybody got other movies they'd like
Oh
to
yeah. I suppose we got to
Yeah, there's a lot of good
Run
ones
through.
here.
Yeah.
let's see.
Should I go through mine first? or-
Sure, go.
Go ahead.
I got Shrek 2,
Yeah, I almost picked it.
Meet the Fockers, The Prisoner of Azkaban, Born Supremacy, National Treasure, Supersize Me, The
Almost picked that
Terminal,
too.
and Ray.
Yeah,
Alright.
the one that I have here that I really love is The Girl Next Door. That's a good movie.
That came out this year?
That's on number 7 on my list here.
Oh man, I missed
Yeah, I'm
that
kind of
one.
surprised. You and me both like that.
Yeah.
Garden State was a big one. I mentioned as a joke Garfield, although I did like Garfield and I love that Bill Murray did his voice. Along Came Polly was good. I enjoyed The Butterfly Effect. Not maybe a horror so much, but kind of a horror movie. Ocean's 12. I was going to maybe pick Million Dollar Baby being the Oscar winner. I did like Spanglish. I think some people hate that movie. That's one of the few Adam Sandler movies after the first couple that I kind of like. 50 First Dates. There's another one. And the movie Collateral with what is it? It's Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Yes,
Yeah, I haven't
Yep,
seen it in a long
that's a
time,
good one.
but that's a good movie. Michael Mann.
it is. For sure. I got a broken lizard movie in here. Club Dread was a lot of fun. I got Kill Bill Volume 2, Day After Tomorrow,
I'm
Chronicles
surprised
of
you didn't
Riddick.
pick Kill Bill.
The second one's not as good as the first one, in my
Oh,
opinion.
okay. I just know you love it so much.
Yep. Shaun of the Dead. Alien versus Predator. That was a highly anticipated film that came out. I own it on DVD. I've watched it many times and love it very much. And then I'm surprised Brad didn't pick the Wes Anderson offering this year, The Life Aquatic, with Steve Zissou.
With Steve Zissou.
Yes.
Talk about a pretentious title. Should we fight right now?
No, I just have to bring it up.
Gifford and I
Do
are
it.
not seeing eye to eye on Wes
Do it.
Anderson, and it almost led to blood
Do
last week.
Yes, it did. It almost did. And I apologize again for my comments via text.
My comments,
right.
because I thought we had a funny thing going, so I wasn't trying to
Yeah.
hurt anybody.
I know. Yeah.
Okay,
All right, so-
TV. Gifford, you're up.
Okay, so this year debuted an awesome show that I
Damn it.
just dove head first into, loved it, and then did what I do with so many other shows
You're
and
taking
don't
it.
finish it off when I get angry with them, and that is Lost.
Shit. Well, that's what I wanted, but I figured you'd take it, even though you quit watching it, unlike me.
But in 04, man,
In
I
04?
was all in.
And to be honest, I didn't start watching it till 05. It was the middle of the second season. Somebody had recorded them on DVD, and we whipped right
Mhm.
through them. So actually, I didn't even watch it in 04. So I guess you should have it.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was the only slam dunk on my list here. I'm gonna take Curb Your Enthusiasm. This might have been about the time where I actually started watching it because I had to get it on the Netflix discs once they became available.
That
Didn't
would
have
have been what,
HBO or
like
anything.
07 or something, I think.
And so I don't know, a couple of years in is when they started coming out, and I would start binging through them. So Curb Your Enthusiasm.
All right.
All right. My pick is Arrested Development. I think that was
Got
the
it.
second year.
Yeah,
Arrested
and we talked
Development.
about
I
that
know.
one.
I know I'm probably cheating because I didn't actually watch it until more recently, but obviously it's a great pick, I think.
Just saw that one sitting there and was hoping I'd get it with my next pick.
Nope.
All right. For my second pick, I'm going with one of the great romances in sitcom history, and that is between JD and Turk and
Shit.
Scrubs.
God, you're getting the good ones. Again. All right. Well, I'm going to pick the show that ended. That was the huge show, Friends.
Yep.
I mean, this is the year it ended, and it was a good finale, and everybody
was.
felt good afterwards. So,
Yeah.
it's the boring pick, but I'm going to take it.
Everybody
All right.
was watching.
Well, I'm
It's
going to
good,
follow
yeah.
I know,
up
it's
Friends
just,
with,
you know, it's-
with another New York-based sitcom, kind of a sequence to Friends, Will and Grace.
Right. Well, I was still all in 04 with The West Wing.
Okay.
So, yep, we got. Sorry, I was just looking at how many of these we've done episodes on, and we've hit on most of these already.
Yeah, we have.
I'm gonna go with the show. I can't remember what year it started. Maybe by this time I had started to tune out, but I and my wife loved Nip Tuck.
Oh,
That was
didn't
one
have
of the
that on my
fun
list.
cable shows where you could get away with some more stuff, and we loved
Yeah.
watching that every week.
Brad loves getting away with some more stuff. That's for
Yeah.
Back then, it was before Netflix was big, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
that's
it was
what you
only
had.
Netflix discs.
Yeah. And
Right.
just
That's
for
right.
perspective, like, again, this is 04, so this is 3 years before Netflix. This is 3 years before the first iPhone came
Yeah,
out.
there's not even an iPhone or anything yet.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
was it
that's
3 years before Netflix? I thought Netflix was out, but on disc before that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
just the disc,
discs.
like Brad said.
He's talking
Oh, I
about
So
thought-
you're saying
streaming.
Netflix streaming. Netflix streaming.
Oh, I thought I looked it up the other night and
No,
Netflix
we
wasn't out.
were a Netflix disc member since like the year 2000. That's been around, I think, the
Oh.
late 90s
yeah,
is when it
yeah.
started.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
Yeah,
I was way off.
so
So the 07
you
would have been
were.
streaming. Yeah.
All right,
All right.
Pete.
I'm gonna go with whose line is it anyway?
I think
I
it's
don't know.
yours.
Who's
What's
this
your pick?
Improv comedy is pretty good. What?
I
said,
said,
whose is it?
yeah, it's your line. It's your pick. Whose line is it? All
Yep.
right. So, I was looking at the shows and I was watching a lot of like History and Discovery Channel during this time. So, Mythbusters was big for me.
Oh
in
yes,
04.
that's a great one. I love that show too. I didn't have
Yeah.
that on my list.
All right, I'm going to pick another show that ended in this year that we have talked about many times before. We all watched it. Ed.
I didn't watch it that much. I'm
Oh, I thought
aware
you
of it,
did.
but I was.
I thought
No,
you did. Oh,
with
okay.
Tom Cavanaugh
Yeah.
and Julia Bowen.
I thought you did. Yeah, Julie Bowen.
Julie-
So Ed
Julie
ended. I can associate that with we moved, on Memorial Day. I said Ed and Friends both ended like right before we moved,
Right
and I
there.
can still associate watching the finales like in our townhouse and getting ready to leave that house, and
Mhm.
it's like the end of all these eras.
It was. Yep.
Ed was on for 4 years. It did its job.
All right. Is it my pick now?
It is
It
your
is.
I'm going with Frasier.
God, was that still
Probably
on?
when it was wasn't it in its prime at that time? I'll have to look
No.
up the
It
years. but
started in
was on during
90.
that year.
It started in 94 because it was the year after Cheers ended. It started right away. So
Yeah, but it
It's
was
gotta
on a
be-
long time.
it's got to be right at the
Yeah.
end here.
It was I think you're right. It was on for 11 seasons starting in 1993, but it was on the thing that you sent out.
11 seasons.
Yeah, it was still on. Yeah, for sure.
May 13th. It concluded on May 13th, 2004.
So Ed and Friends and Frasier, NBC lost a lot of shows that year.
That's
I
some
can't
heavy
believe
hitters.
Frasier's been done for that long. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a shock.
That means he played that role for 23 years straight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, now he's doing it again. It's a
So,
renewed Frasier reboot.
Gentlemen, what is it that we love the most on this show?
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
So, if you were watching VH1 in 2004, I Love the 90s came out in
Wow, that's
2004. So I was watching that. I loved all the commentators and
How did you
talking
even
about the
find
things.
that?
I was thinking about what I was watching, so I just looked up when that came out, and that was the
Wow.
year. So I'm throwing it on my list.
You
All
know
right.
that we're getting old when we're talking about the nostalgia shows that were on 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
For my last pick, I'm going to pick another show that I was probably just about starting to give up on. and it's still on the air, guys. South Park.
Oh, I was gonna say Simpsons.
I thought you were going to talk
No,
about. The
I'd been done with The
Simpsons.
Simpsons long before this.
Yeah.
I don't think
It
I've watched a
also
new
still-
Simpsons episode since like '99.
Yeah,
That's been a
yeah.
bit.
It's on my list, but the same.
Yeah, you could pick it still, but
I'm not. I'm going to go with a show that started in 2004 that my wife and I've talked about it before. We watched every episode together. Desperate Housewives. Say what you will.
okay. I do have a couple more here.
You please.
Not much though.
Yeah,
These are
it
the
was
ones where I
pretty thin
really
for
was
TV.
in the bottom of the barrel in case I needed it. So every once in a while I watched 8 Simple Rules with John Ritter and Kaylee Cuoco when she was a kid. SNL was good at this time because you had Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and Andy Samberg and that was a good cast, so that was a good time for that. Monday Night Football I listed if I needed it. Here's 2 though. So NBC lost some good shows that year. Here's 2 they tried to go that didn't go very well. I don't know why I watched it, but I watched the show Father of the Pride like every week. Do you remember that? It was a cartoon with lions.
Lions, I'm guessing.
In Vegas, and it was voiced by I think John Goodman and Cheryl Hines, amongst
Really?
others. Yeah, how about that?
Wow.
And I watched
Okay.
too many episodes of that. And then I also included Joey
Yes.
because I did give Joey a chance, and I actually liked it more than most people did. I didn't hate Joey. It wasn't great, but I watched it every week while it was on because
I watched it for the first few and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know.
So that's it. You got any others?
I got some. Pete, why don't you go if you got some more?
I was spreading pretty thin here too. We did watch Alias,
Yep,
which
I
I
had that.
had on my list. I had The Simpsons, Everybody Loves Raymond, that 70s show, Last Comic Standing. I had American Idol because I think this is when we were still watching it. The OC, CSI New York, and House.
Well, you had a lot listed.
Yeah, you did. Fear Factor, I watched quite a bit of back then. Also, just CSI would have been one there. American Chopper, I was watching. I think that was on
Oh, yeah.
Discovery Channel, along with Monster Garage with Jesse James. The Daily Show was another one, and then I was watching the Twins that summer.
Oh, that'd have been a good choice this time, the Twins, because
Yep.
they were great.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Well, and you want to talk about great? The Wolves went to the Western Conference Finals in 04.
That's true. And I remember
Yeah.
that because the day we moved in, well, it was Memorial Day after we had kind of gotten settled in. I don't know if you were probably there. Some people were over at our
Mhm.
new house and we were not quite all unpacked, but we watched, I think it was game 6 when they officially lost to the Lakers
The Lakers.
and the season ended that night.
And
Believe
then
it or not, Gifford, I watched American Chopper too. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I did
It
too.
was, it's fun to watch.
I watched a lot of seasons of that.
I
And
don't
then the
even know what
last
that
thing on
is.
my list, Brad always includes Monday Night Football. I tend to include the years that there's Olympics, and we had the Summer Olympics in Athens
yes.
that year.
Athens. I remember that too because we moved into our new house and we had to get a new
TV.
patio door put on.
Oh.
And the guy was working, and I know the Olympics were. It's just one of those things I can picture. I got that crazy memory, and I was
Hey,
watching the Olympics.
Hey, when we
I
were
think the
talking about our
basketball team
memories,
lost to somebody terrible, and they had a horrible turnout that year.
Did you happen to move into a new house that year, Brad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, you know what? When you have a big event like that, you can associate things that
It's-
happened.
That's
Yes,
true.
that's
That's
for sure.
true.
That is
That's
for
all
sure.
I'm doing here.
Yes. So anyway, I mean, those are the extras I had for the television.
All right.
Good. Hey, Gifford,
Yeah.
you know what band I haven't been able to write a good introduction for tonight?
Preacher Row.
That's right.
I think they moved into a new house in 2004.
I think they may have. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. With a sweet garage
Awesome.
for practicing. So
Awesome. Well, here they
Well,
are.
Hey,
we're gonna kick off. Good kickoff to 2004 here, and next week's gonna be awesome with Green Day. And
oh, it's gonna be
Come
so
on.
good.
come on back and listen to that one.
You don't want to miss our music ones. Those are our best
No.
ones.
They
Yeah,
are
they really are.
highly rated.
Highly rated. All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye,
Thanks for
everybody.
listening.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
till free. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your son is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. And start to me on my path. I turn and I look to you. I'm scared but there's nothing I can do.